Hi, I'm Bob Sambol from Bob's Steak and Chop House, and this is a rare conversation with Brandon Hayes. Brandon is a very accomplished nightclub bar operator, has now delved into restaurants, Pilates. But the first question is, tell me about the hair. Because no matter, whenever you come in the restaurant, people see me talking to you, and they go, who's that? I said, it's Brandon Hayes. What's with the hair? So tell me about the hair.
I mean, honestly, it's born of laziness, quite honestly. Like, I like to get up and get out of the house. So, like, I'm not one to spend much time in the mirror. I'm going to brush my teeth, get in, kind of out. So,
Okay.
it's always just been a product of, and then it's kind of stuck. And then I had a conversation with Brittany. I was like, I think I'm going to cut my hair, my wife. And she was like, no, you're not. And so now I'm not.
All right.
So,
Good. All right. Well, we got the hair question out of the way. So I ask this question all the time when I do an interview. In sixth grade career day, and they said, Brandon, what do you want to be when you grow up? You didn't say, I want to own bars and nightclubs. What did you want to do when you were a kid, and how did you end up here? And where'd you grow up? And
Got it. So Waxahachie, south of here, was primarily where I spent the majority of my time growing up. And I would say in career day, my initial statement was mechanical engineering. I thought I wanted to, like, I was intrigued by, like, I was like taking apart my Nintendos and like taking apart different things, just try to see how it all worked and try to understand that. But that didn't really pan out. I dropped out of high school my junior year, had good grades, but it was just the structure wasn't working for me anymore. And I was like, I'm ready to go do something else. So in short time, I was, moved up to Plano with my mom and, got a job at Starbucks and was just kind of starting my way to figure things out. And then eventually got into bartending. Bartending kind of led me to the world of where we are now, where working with social media, MySpace and kind of the early iterations of those and learning how to use those in a way that would draw more people to me. Because it was very simple. I was like, if I had more people in front of me and they tip me more, I make more money. So I was like, how do I get more people in front of me? And so that naturally led to starting a promotion company in 2006, where we were approached to go work with different nightclubs. They said, we've got a place over here, we want to do something on Tuesday nights. We'll give you a percentage of the bar, you can keep your bar tips, and you can do whatever you want. And we were like, well, we want to staff it, we want to do everything our own. And so we started, myself and James Hamus, my partner from there all the way up until Fuzi, started promotions, and that kind of led me into the nightclub space. Eventually got asked to be kind of exclusive to specific nightclubs. And within that, we ended up at Sweet, which was behind Tracy, and led me to the Robert Colombo connection, which put us into our first restaurant where we were looking to move out of nightclubs and get into restaurants.
Wow. So what was your first nightclub?
From the ownership side, equity side, I had an ex-girlfriend call me up and she was like, hey, I'm cocktailing at this nightclub. We need some help. Would you guys be interested in coming over here? And we were kind of dotted at a couple of spaces. We would always have a Tuesday night over here or a Thursday night over here or a Saturday. And at one point we were doing 8 nights over 7 days of the week that we were kind of promoting.
Right.
And they wanted to consolidate that and said, we'll give you some equity in this space if you'll come and do it just for us. We went in and probably within, 2 weekends went from, kind of a lightly dotted nightclub to a very busy kind of space again, and that caught the attention of the operator up front.
And what was the name of the place?
Sweet.
Sweet, okay.
Yeah, Matt Geezy and Brett and the guys had sold it to a different guy, and that guy just didn't have any nightclub experience, so he was like a little bit out of his depth and looking for some help.
All right, so you got Sweet, you're rolling along, and then unlike the restaurant business, the nightclub business is one of those businesses where you're always reinventing yourself.
Totally.
What is the amount of time you guys say, 5 years or something like that?
That 5 years is a heck of a run for those kind of spaces. We always thought, 2 to 3 year sprints. And before that, I was in other people's spaces. So it was more of, when you talk about constantly reinventing, week to week, we had to come up with themes or something to do. So it was kind of an early practice in marketing of like, how do you constantly try to find something that's going to drum up business or drive attention to, enough people to where they want to come out again.
Right.
And so relationships were important. We had to make sure that we were taking care of people well, because we were asking them to not only come see us, but we were asking them to move around during the week when they came to see us. So, hey, Tuesday we're over here, Thursday we're over here, Friday we're over here, Saturday we're over here. And so that was a good experiment for me long term to figure out the marketing of that. But that was the primary reason of wanting to get out of nightclubs was, you can't ask your friends to come spend $1,000 with you every weekend, right? To get a table and do the whole
Yeah.
thing. So it was just, what's a sustainable model for a long time to where we don't have to reinvent ourselves in a constant manner? And luckily we were able to meet someone with some experience, and they kind of took an early interest and gave us a sweat equity position in Fuzi in 2009 on McKinney and Ruth.
Now, Fuzi had a long history way before this.
Totally.
So didn't Fuzi open, kidded out of the ballpark, then close, and you got reinvented it?
Right. 87, Robert and his brothers opened up the original iteration on McKinney Avenue. That grew to quite a few locations. Lincoln Center, Seinfeld references it in some of the episodes. So in the discovery of that concept, I went back and kind of dove into it and was trying to understand it, because we certainly knew it wasn't going to be that Fuzi. We knew it was going to be the DNA of that as a starting place, and then who we were was going to be injected into that. And so we wanted to really find a way to take this, how can we bring the energy and activity that we bring from the nightclub side and also learn this restaurant side. And it was nice to have someone to give us some bumper rails to where we just wouldn't fall in every time. I was terrified to run food when we first started this thing. I was like, or terrified to talk to tables in general. So like that was the only way I could talk to people, was running food. Here's your lasagna. Do you hate me? I'm so sorry. I hope everything's great. Miserably terrified by it.
Yeah.
It was intimidating because, I was 25 years old, allowed to staff, kind of design and program this whole place with my partner James and Robert. And Robert really kind of gave us a lot of width to go and do things. And so it was really fast growing up in that way.
So Fuzi happens. Double D's, High Fives, Tiny Victories, Burger Schmurger, Session Pilates. Just lots of stuff to talk about. But the bar business, before we leave the bar business, when you look at the bar business now compared to when you started in it, what's the difference? Or is there a difference?
It's cyclical, right? Like the bottle service thing was a thing, and that's kind of fallen out of favor again, and that kind of goes in waves, and the areas of town and the pockets of entertainment districts constantly change. But interesting question, because where I've gotten to in my career is that I don't think any of it changes a lot. I think if we allow these things to be simple, they can be very simple. It's still a handshake. Mm-hmm. It's still a thank you. It's still a please come back. It's still a handwritten note at times. It's still hospitality to where we're just trying to love on them. And that doesn't matter if it's a steak I'm putting in front of someone, or welcoming someone in the door who's, been kind enough to wait an hour outside to come into one of our spaces. Yeah. To genuinely be selfless in that act of service, what hospitality is supposed to be, I think that's still the same.
It's funny, I've done a bunch of these interviews with different people in different parts of the hospitality business. And it all comes down to that, whether it's a nightclub or a steakhouse, or it just all comes down to.
Why do you go eat? How do I go eat? I still go to the same places,
right,
because when I walk in the door, I feel great. I come in to see you at your space.
Yeah. I
know Bob's gonna be there with a handshake and a big hug, and we're gonna chat.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. I like to dine alone at a bar, so that matters a lot to me.
Right.
The bartender, the experience I'm getting. So if I can't extend what I also want, then I don't really know what I'm doing in all this.
What's been your biggest success in the bar business?
It's a question I get decently enough, because 18 concepts in the last 16 years, give some variety, and they're all different, right? Like High Fives, we just celebrated 10 years last week.
Yeah.
For a bar, that's crazy.
It is.
And that thing sustained us in good times and bad. We almost closed it in the first 12 months. This place, Double D's, has been absolutely crazy. Tiny Victories has been a great staple for us over there. Fuzi in 09 was, front page business section sales.
Oh, it was.
We've had a lot of good. Standard Pour is still there.
Yeah.
It's still doing awesome. I think that was on a napkin in my pocket that we had drawn up. So, it's tough to pick one, because I'm a selfish creator. Wherever I am in life, that's kind of what I want to create next. And so, but I have a deep affinity for all of them, and especially the people that we work with, because our model is a little different. We're more of a people portfolio. We want to find operating partners to go into, usually first-time operators, who we want to give some kind of a repayment of what I was given, some trust, and allow them to partner with us and collaborate and create fun spaces. So it's not only the spaces, but the affinity of those relationships that get created throughout that.
Wow. Okay, so we'll leave the bar business for a minute. you petrified of going to tables, and then what was your first restaurant or food operation?
You know, Fousey was doing huge numbers in food too, so that was my first kind of introduction, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, I was still driving traffic. I was still in marketing. I wasn't a restaurateur. I didn't have the chops to do that, but I was learning a ton. You know, I loved being on Expo, and I still love being on Expo, like understanding that synergy from front of house and back of house and the fast paced, especially there where it's like you're timing everything with a pizza oven and hotline and playing with it. But, you know, Wayward Sons was a real introduction. And I remember asking you to come and work a shift with me over there and just kind of give me those Bob Sambol eyes to see everything because we were still learning, but was deeply fascinated with it. And it's, I think everyone has the opposite attraction, right? Where it's like, if you're great at the bar stuff, you want to be on the restaurant side, or if you're a basketball player, you want to be a rock star, and if you're a rock star, you want to be a football player, and everybody wants to do the other thing. So getting to it was fun. Alice was a super fun project. Wayward Sons, got Restaurant of the Year there. That was great. And all Ferris Wheelers, Restaurant of the Year with that one coming out, new Restaurant of the Year, and it was great. But learning to manage a business at that point became really important. With bars, you have such margin to play with because, it just has a little bit more of a margin. Your payroll's not as high. You don't have as many employees. Booze cost is booze cost. It doesn't go bad, right? A bottle of vodka, I can sit back there for 10 years and come back, I'll drink it the next day. But with food, it was just, I had to develop, more of a business mind and managing both the people and the business of it. But lovely experiences, all of them. Graham was wonderful to work with, and seeing the love and care that went into the food and the process was a great kind of wake up. And now with Goldie's, it's allowed me to be much more attuned to the whole process. But yeah, the restaurant side's it's fun, but it's challenging.
You just opened a hamburger restaurant, Burger Schmurger.
Yeah.
And my son, who's one of your closest friends, told me, Dad, it's ridiculous how busy they are. Is that what's happening?
We've been blessed. I mean, that's kind of a cool story. I'm at a 4th of July party for one of my friends in Kessler Park, and walk in, and there's the normal group of people. We're all saying hello. We're all kind of enjoying ourselves, and then she's got this guy smashing burgers on a griddle kind of in the back corner, and this kid walks over and hands me a burger and says, "Here's a burger." And I eat this burger, and I was like, okay, who did the catering, Amy? Because it was good immediately. I was like, okay, this is a damn good burger. And she's like, it's Guy Burger Schmurger. And I'm like, okay. So I find this kid again, and I'm like, look, do me a favor, go snag me another burger. I need another one of these things. And so he goes over there, and I give the kid a $100 tip. And his dad comes running over to me. He's like, what are you doing? Give my kid a $100 tip. What are we doing with this thing? But that was kind of how I met Dave. And Dave was just every bit of the personality you want in this industry. Loving, kind, wants to talk to everybody, was really enjoying it, is loving what he's doing. The story behind it was that, it was just his cooking in his backyard. And so I immediately tracked this guy down, and I'm like, hey, I've got a bar. We're not doing a whole lot with the kitchen right now. Come set up shop, man. And he was like, I don't know. And so he went to Craft and Growler in Exposition Park, and, but 6 months later, we reconnected, and I'm like, I really think we should work together. So he finally comes over to High Fives, and he sets up shop, and immediately he just, he's got the trifecta, Dallas Morning News, Dallas Observer, D Magazine, all telling him he's got the best burger, best bite at Chef for Farmers, one of our biggest events here in town. So all the accolades are there. He's a press sweetheart, and it's just because he's genuinely that good of a guy. And then we're like, okay, it's time to open Burger Schmurger, right? Like, let's go find a brick and mortar together. So we looked at one location near Goldie's. It wasn't quite right, but that's his backyard, right? Lake Highlands, his kids are still there. And we knew that was, doing a pop-up for 3 or 4 or 5 years and getting good notoriety for it is just 5 years of marketing before you ever open a space. And so when we finally got to the point where we were gonna open up Burger Schmurger in the current location, it was immediate. I mean, it was people waiting outside in Texas heat for 40 minutes to get in there and eat, and we were just flat sat. Hardest kitchen I've ever worked in. 850, 900 covers a day, and it was just gangbusters from the jump. And we're like, okay, this is hard, but when you're at a steakhouse like yourself, I mean, you may do 600, 700, 800, 900 covers, but they're spaced out 2-hour dinners. These people wanted to eat in 45 minutes and get out.
Sure.
So it was like a hockey game. It was like line change. Like people jumping over the boards, and you're like, okay. And David never worked in a commercial kitchen, and that dude pulled his boots up, got behind the line, and went to work. And Phil, our partner, was putting together a lot of the brand ID and running the front of house. We just have such a great team, and we brought on a guy who'd worked for us as a server originally at Fuzi in '09, is now our operating partner on that as well, controlling the front of house. And so it's a really fun brand with a really fun team, and I couldn't be more proud of that whole thing.
One thing I hear in everything you're describing is the word partner. So you have realized something I realized a long time ago, that you can't do this by yourself, and you got to get with good people, because they're
Totally.
gonna, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to do it by myself.
Yeah.
It's such a fun thing to collaborate on and to have ideas with. I mean, Phil Sambol, my partner in this and that hospitality, we met doing promotions in nightclubs at Wish nightclub in 2000, God knows what. But he came over, was the general manager of Fuzi, we were originally there, and then when that was all going down, Frank Bonilla from Primo's called me and said, "Hey, Brandon, we're going to walk away from the space over here. It's something you want." And it took from the time I got that phone call to the time we opened it was 62 days.
Wow.
I called Phil. I said, "We're going to start a restaurant company. We're going to be 50-50 partners. Are you in on that?" He said, "Hell yeah." And then we demoed that space ourselves. We took a bunch of wild loans and tried to raise money from anybody we could, passing hats. And then, 62 days open to actually get to the city and get everything open. And then, 6 months later, we were paid off with a restaurant space going, "Oh shit, this works."
I guess what's next, or what one type of restaurant that you kind of wanted to do and now you've become pretty good at it? You've had great success. What's the one thing you're like to give a shot at? Don't say steakhouses, please. I know we don't need guys like you in the steakhouse business.
I wouldn't make it,
You're
man.
too creative. You got too much energy. People hate that.
Yeah. They want consistency.
Yeah, they want old men, old fat guys to go to their table. They don't want cool hip guys at the table. So stay out of that business.
No.
So what are you looking at?
Look, we've done so many things, and it's been. I was being reflective over the summer and just filled with gratitude in the sense of about once every 10 months for the last 15 years, I've been able to create what is to some people a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
By creating a concept, bringing it to life, building a team to do that, and I feel wildly, wildly grateful to have been able to do all this. But I'm a little bit brain dead as well, because it's just been go, 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 go. And I think Burger Schmurger's really presenting us an opportunity to say, okay, I mean, we're doing crazy stuff with this concept in the sense of just on the back end, like, we just invested a ton of money into a training program with a national group that's helping us go through and refine everything. We want pivot positions. We want to apply all the proper hospitality aspects to a space where no one's expecting it. And so if we can just pour into that singular concept that has just a really, I mean, who doesn't like burgers, right? So,
But the last thing the world needs is another burger restaurant. I mean, I love when people walk into Bob's and try to sell me a new vodka or a new tequila. I said, "Oh my God, thank God you're here." Well, I was just talking with everybody today how we need more vodka and more tequila. Oh, good. What could it be? I'd love to have it. Well, it's the same way with burgers. I mean, the last thing the world needs is another burger restaurant.
right,
But you've created it.
but a space where you can take your family and feel welcomed, and your kids are going to feel left. It's like, I've got a 5 and a 2-year-old, right? So
Right.
Like I get these pain points, but I'm like, we talk about it where the sense of relief you can take off if there's just someone on staff who just all they're doing is walking around and help clean up the floors. So
Yeah.
that when my kids are throwing stuff, I don't feel like the big bad
Yeah.
wolf who's ruining everyone's time, because I know that someone's in there paying attention to the details. The bathroom's got to be clean, the food's got to be quick, it's got to be hot, but it's not a burger joint. It's a restaurant for families. It's a restaurant in a neighborhood space. We don't want to fight with the rest of the highfalutin. We want to look at fun markets, that have good kind of where I grew up, Waxahachie or Prosper's or McKinney's, and kind of, we don't want to fight with the Hot Dotties of the world and that kind of thing.
And you're open at night also?
Yeah, we up 11 to 11 every day.
Oh, wow.
And so, 14 meal periods. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But an incredible, run. That space has been.
Same menu all day?
Yes. We run a lunch special in the middle of that just to give some, try to get people in and out and give a deal
Right.
there. But Yeah, and then again, we took the same approach to our cocktail program there as we do to any space we do. Tiny Victories are here, Standard Pour, any of them, but great cocktails, and trying to marry all those worlds that we've been around into one space, and we just think the world of it.
Wow. Okay, got to get to this. You got nightclubs, you got burger restaurants, now you got a Pilates studio. How did that happen?
So I was
a successful Pilates studio.
I'm wildly proud of that whole thing just because I think my wife's the best. But met my wife, I'd known her for years. We met in actually our holding company is called Spring Break Romance because we met in South Padre Island way back when. I was down there emceeing for some of the big nightclubs and party bars, and she was down there on spring break, and we'd met adjacently. And being in the promotion side at that point, it was here's a sorority full of girls who like to go out in Dallas. I'm like, if anytime you like to be out, come see us. And so I ended up doing basically everyone's birthday in that group and getting to know this group for a long time, looking out for them when they were out and making sure that they were, well sorted out. But we built a great relationship. And so at one point we had started discussing, I'd seen the P&L where, on one of these businesses, and I go, oh, this is a pretty damn good business. And she was great at it as an instructor. She was really exceptional at what she was doing from the teaching standpoint. And I said, would you ever like to start this? And we weren't romantically involved at that point. In a 4-day span, I had broken up with my girlfriend, and I'd gone to my business partner, Phil, and I said, we're gonna go to New York and just go rip it, buddy. Let's go have some fun. And Brittany happened to make her way on that trip. And so that started the romantic side of the relationship. And, I always admired her. She's a beautiful woman. And then, when we got back, I was like, so do you still want to start this business right now, or do you want to, let's travel a little bit and enjoy ourselves? And she said, let's travel and enjoy ourselves. And then I wake up one day and she goes, hey, I'm ready to start that business now. And so we started asking questions foundationally around Pilates. Why don't you like what's currently at stake, what's going on? And there was a couple things where, can't do it as a full-time profession, don't feel like there's a voice for most of us to be heard. And so we started writing this list of kind of what wasn't there. Came up with a cool model where we're going to profit share all of our instructors in as part of the business, and create a criteria of what we want. We wanted to create a business where it was not individualistic driven, where come see me at my class, which typically happens with a lot of these studios, and it was how do we create a whole team that's focused on the brand and focused on the actual curation of what we're doing, and then to take all this rock star mentality out of it and then put in some hospitality. Hospitality applies to almost every industry, I think. Yeah. And so a lot of those touch points got talked about, and she was in there demoing out that first space. I passed a hat to a couple buddies of mine and said, let's give this thing a shot. And for $80K, we started up Session Pilates. Brittany taught every single class that was on the schedule for months at a time. I can't tell you how proud I am of the way she's grown. And now with 6 locations in Dallas, we just opened one in Nashville in April. The culture she's built there with the help of your daughter-in-law and kind of that whole team is exceptional. I mean, they work hard, we push hard, and can't tell you how many times she's telling me, Brandon, why are you pushing like this? There's no other studio around here asking these kind of questions or doing things, and but we early on made an agreement that we didn't want to do something that everyone else was doing. We wanted to create a new space in it, and but the community she's built. When people leave and move to another town, Brittany gets emails all the time of, I've tried desperately to find the same type of community I felt when I was here in Dallas around Session Pilates, and it just made me understand how much I really appreciated it when I was there. So I just want to tell you thank you. And so when you get things like that, and that's the stuff that resonates in any of these industries, right? Sure. When someone tells you, I met my wife at your restaurant, or they're celebrating their 30th anniversary, like
100%.
Accolades and all that other stuff is just stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you get to look at someone and an idea in your head became a tangible thing, and then it becomes a thumbprint on someone's life, how much core can you get with anything?
Yeah. Wow. Well, you got it right. I'll tell you that. So with all of your concepts and all of your ideas, you want to continue on in the bar business. You want to proceed with Burger Schmurger, and you look at everything that's going on in our business, and what kind of surprises you? And I know what surprises me. What surprises me is that there's a lot of people in our business that I never worry about because there's no way they're going to make it. They don't got it. So what do you think is what's going on in our business as far as when you started to now that, you know, obviously you got the hang of it. I could listen to you talk all day, and I talk to a lot of college students at hospitality schools, and I should tape what you're saying because it's everything I preach. But what do you look at now in the hospitality business, and all your businesses are in the hospitality, whether it's Pilates or bar or hamburgers? What do you think is going to happen now? I mean, you know, it's a different world now.
Yeah, and I think specifically for our market, Dallas just become a lot more nationally kind of recognized, right?
Yeah.
So we see a lot of these brands come in. So, I mean, where it was pure charm and relationships before, where you could do a venue with duct tape and kind of get away with it a little bit. You know, the barrier of entry is higher if you want to sustain yourself. Like, you've got to put more into these concepts and build outs, because what they're getting from these other spaces, I mean, these companies coming to town right now are putting $8, $10, $12 million into spaces, and I'm like, I don't even know what $8, $10, $12 million looks like. Like, I don't.
Well, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm running forecasts on it. I'm going, I don't know how you get your money back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the hospitality, because of shows and everything else, got to a place where it was people were building trophy cases for themselves. You know, you watch the Nuri guy come in and say, I couldn't find anything else in the city that I enjoyed, so I built a $20 million thing. Well, you built a $20 million expectation because that's all you talked about before you walked in, and it's like, it's not what this is all about.
Right.
So I think as I see change, I see it get more nationally recognized, and Dallas is cool because it protects it, right? Like, we're a little insulated where our followings really do support us. You know, you see Duro and yourself and Katz and the boys, Pasha and that team. Austin Rogers, what he's doing with Goodwins. Nick, Jesus, I mean, that guy's the godfather of this thing at some point. And from kind of my age and in between, Javier, you.
I'm talking to Javier this afternoon. I mean, you look at 47 years. I mean,
crazy.
Campisi, 75 years. I mean,
he's great too.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's just, you know, I love it. I just think that we have this incredible restaurant community.
Totally.
And these guys from out of town, they think they can come here and teach us a lesson.
Yeah.
But they
everyone's going to show up, see your space.
Yeah.
And that's great. But, like, when you walk in the door of some of these places, it feels like you're supposed to be thanking them. And I'm like, that's not how Dallas works, man. Like we're there for them. Like, we're there for our people. And so I think we're blessed in that regard, that if you can get the respect of the base in Dallas, it'll support you for a long time, as long as you're kind to it.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of iterations. I think naming all those different people, Jules as well, and some of these other, like, it's
sure.
You know, maybe we sucked up all the love from the city, and, you know, they don't have anywhere else to go. But you see the national brands kind of come in and have a big run, and then it kind of dips out. And I think that's a testament to consistent hospitality execution.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, like I said, I could listen to you talk because you preach a lot of things I believe in. You've done an amazing job at establishing your mark in a nightclub business, and now in the restaurant business and Pilates business. And I just hope that you get a chance to speak to young people, because you get it. You understand it. You've had failures.
Totally.
You've had bars and restaurants that didn't make it, and you learned by it, and now you understand that, you know, what it takes to be successful. So, listen, I got the big hair question out of the way, but we sat here and I learned a little bit about it, and I feel much better about what I believe in, because we believe in the same thing. And congratulations on your success. You've done a great job, and I think you're going to do even more in the future. So thank you for doing this.
Well, I've got to meet people like you and call you a friend now, so that makes it a lot more fun too.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you so much.